Well, ladies and gentlemen, our friend, our dear friend down in Dallas, Texas, I tell you what, he's a phenomenal guy. Got 2 degrees, 2 masters. And here again, he understood them masters. Hey, he was, and then ACN came along. He was, oh, I gotta go. I got to go. And now he has the freedom to build his home business and also made a decision that I'm going all in with ACN. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from the beautiful Dallas, Texas area, the one and only, the great backbone and posture man, Mr. Sam Backbone Posture.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. I'm actually on location again, guys. I'm working on something, and next week I should have it completed to have it for you guys. With that said, I want you guys to remember that we are the cream of the crop. With that said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and roll this first.
Entrepreneur is a mindset first, a skill set, and rules. And depending upon whether you're an employee or a small business, the rules are different. The mindsets are different. The skill sets are different. It's not taught. You're taught to go to school, get a job, and get a paycheck. You're not taught to how to get rich. If you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, my rich dad refused to pay me. He said the paycheck was one of the most damaging things you could take in your life. He says the moment you take a paycheck, you're an employee, and that's the mindset. So my rich dad never paid me. It drove my poor dad, government employee, nuts. You gotta pay people, you gotta pay people. And rich dad was not saying that the paycheck was bad. He says you didn't want to be a slave to money. So as an entrepreneur, if rich dad folded, I just started another company. I don't need a paycheck. I don't need anybody to take care of me. If my government doesn't like me, I move to another country because they need entrepreneurs there. So the entrepreneur is not so much the business. The entrepreneur is really the mindset and the skill sets and the different set of rules.
Wow, wow, wow. If you guys don't know who that is, that's the illustrious, great guy himself, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Mr. Robert Kiyosaki. And he was basically letting us know, guys, that we have the best thing going since sliced bread. Not only entrepreneurship, guys, but we have a vehicle in ACN that allows us not to trade time for dollars and accept a tip called a paycheck. The first thing came out of his mouth was mindset, the mindset of an entrepreneur. Now, if you caught the call last week, I was talking about the mama mentality, and I talked a little bit about Coach Saban, these different people that have rose into the cream of the crop in their field and what they do. And being paid quite handsomely, I may add. Not only that, guys, but I came outside amongst the people once again to express to you guys the objectivity of exercise. So if you're taking notes, the title of the term today on this Pivot Friday is exercise. Well, why did you choose exercise? I'm glad you asked. Chose exercise, guys, because that's a movement that we have to do if we're going to get stronger, if we're going to pivot a little bit. Exercise can be both physical and mental. I may add, once again, guys, both physical and mental. So as I'm taking this role, doing this lunchtime process, guys, I want you to think of exercise in your entrepreneurship as an opportunity and a time to build yourself up, both physically and mentally, emotionally, spiritually, because we have everything under the sun that you need to be successful. Think about it for a minute, guys. We have all these great speakers that came this week. We got great tools. We got a great leader at the helm that puts us in the places and on the faces of people that we would have had to pay thousands of dollars to see. And Mr. Thomas just brings them on the call. And if I'm not mistaken, he's bringing the cream of the crop in our industry, which is one of the co-founders. And he constantly does things like this, guys. So we'll let you know when you're thinking about exercise, it should culminate upon the whole body of the person. Now, let me give you a reason why I'm on location. Because I'm peaking, and always peaking. Now, I was sitting talking to a gentleman right before I came, and I was picking the gentleman. I had to pick him at the right time, so that's why I was a little bit late. But I got the goods. I finally got his name and his number, and the guy was blown away. I knew the time I had to get him was right before the Zoom call. So I used that as leverage to let him know I was getting ready to go on a worldwide Zoom call. So guess what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to use the platform. When this call is recorded, I'm going to send it to him. Think about it, guys. You have a library of information that you can literally send to people as a peeking tool. That's why we do it. So I'm going to use it as leverage so that way the guy knows, okay, he was serious. He was talking about he was going to get on this Zoom call. And documentation will always be conversation. You guys have to know that. Now, in the spirit of exercise, last night I was thinking about different things I wanted to talk about, and this, that, and the other, and it hit me, guys. It actually hit me like a ton of bricks, and I had to write it down. I was so nervous. If you're taking notes, I want you to pay attention to this phrase. You want your money to flow and not just stop at the door. Let me repeat that, Mr. Thomas. Let me repeat that because they probably didn't get this part. Sensational, they did not get it. I understand, Kathleen Williams, they didn't get it. Jackie Black, I get it. Miss Deborah, I get it. Danny Payne in Alberta, Canada, I get it. Louisa Paya, my brother from another mother, all the way in Japan. Sarah, I get it. Let me say it again for good measure. Rick Kubiak, strong. Al Randolph, I got you. Bridget Johnson, I see you in your kitchen. But I'm going to say this again for the people that did not hear what I just said. It knocked me over last night, guys. I had to write it down. I was as nervous as a fat rat trying to eat a hog head cheese not to get caught. I said to myself, what in the world? I'm going to repeat this, guys. I had to finally write this down. It says you want your money to flow and not just stop at the door. Let me break that down for the people that don't understand what I just said. Guys, you want residual income in your life because it's a steady stream of income. You don't want money that stops at the door because when you walk away from the job every day, your money stops. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Mr. Greg. If you walk away from the job every day, your money stops and it only starts back, Bridget, when you go back to work. Now, if you think I'm lying, we got a guy on the call, Mr. Luis Payan, all the way in Japan. The same thing applies in Japan. But the other thing that applies in Japan is residual income. Now, ironically, guys, I'm picking the guy that I just left. And I told him a few things. You know, I'm not lone. I don't preach you guys being lone when you're picking people because as long as you get the name and the number, you can do everything else after that. This is the caveat that basically got this guy locked in. I told him, I said, can you imagine getting paid off the stuff that you already are doing anyway? I stopped right there, guys. I didn't do a whole lot of talking and this, that, and the other. I said, can you imagine? Guys, he stopped. He thought about it because he said that he's not making the type of money he wants to make. He's had to go from job to job. He's trying to get his foot in the door and this, that, and the other. I stopped him right then and there, guys. I stopped him because he wanted to know, guys, what I actually did because he saw me moving around and being flexible. I said, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. He looked at me like, what does it mean? We wouldn't believe me if I told you. Guys, I noticed body movement. I noticed their facial expressions because you can dictate when you see how their body moves. So he was curious. So I told him, I said, well, I got tired of trading time for dollars. I said, I started doing what I do now around my schedule. I said, and when this pandemic hit, guys, I said, do you realize my business never stopped? G. Valdez. I said, do you realize my business never stopped? Jackie Black, my business never stopped. I told him, I said, you know, people got laid off, they got fired, they got furloughed. Mr. Greg, I said, my business never stopped. Wait a minute. And then I put the cherry on top. Rick Kubiak, I put the cherry on top. I said, do you realize that these bills you still had to pay, whether you had a job or not? I said, well, it just made sense to me that I came on this side of the equation instead of being on the other side, since I got to pay the bills anyway. Why don't I come on the wholesale side instead of the retail side and get paid to be my own customer? And I said, by the way, this will be a tool for somebody. Marvell, I said, by the way, you're already doing the services. I said, why don't you put the money back in your pocket instead of throwing it to somebody? Harrison, drop the mic. I dropped the mic on him, sir. I literally dropped the mic on him. He started giving me his information before I could pick my phone up good enough to put it in. You get what I'm saying, guys? I told him this is 31 years of documentation, guys. I said, don't take my word for it. I said, I'm going to send you my information. Watch this, guys. I said, I'm going to send you the information. I said, by the way, we have our own YouTube channel. I said, so I just believe. Latasha, I said, I believe documentation will always be the conversation. Gloria Foster, that was it. I shut my mouth. A 3-minute conversation, I shut my mouth. Because there was nothing else I needed to say. We need to stop vomiting, for lack of a better word, on people, Pierce Dix, and just say 1 or 2 things, get out of the way, and let the system, saving yourself time, energy, and money, let the system go to work for you. You want to know why I say that, Adrian O'Neal, all the way in Las Vegas, Nevada, Viva Las Vegas? Because it's all exercise, my brother. It's all exercise. They cover all the way in sunny California. It's all exercise. Mr. Cardale, it's all exercise. Why? Because at the end of your exercise experience, you're going to have the fortitude, you're going to have the strength that you need to run your business, because you have a system that has been proven in the face of adversity, that has been rock solid. Watch this part, guys, for 31 years. And then guess what I did, guys? To add injury to insult. Miss Celia, all the way in Woodland, California. I said, don't take my word for it. I said, I'm going to send you our compensation plan. I said, now, we're one of the only companies that I know of. Watch this part, guys. I said that I put a comp plan in front of you. That's the money, just in case y'all hadn't figured that out. I said, we put it in front of you as a guide, as a blueprint. Now, who can argue with that? Think about it, guys. Then I said, I'm going to send you my website. That way you'll see my face on it, credibility. And the same phone number I just called you on is going to be on my website, credibility. I floored him, guys. Call the dogs. Call the dogs on him. I got him leached up. He couldn't shake this opportunity if he wanted to. I put too many facts on him. He was in there, guys. Like he was in a boxing match and I got him in the corner. He was in there. All I got to do is tuck him in. And not only that, guys, but he's going to be a pipeline to go through other people. Why? Because he knows other people that want this opportunity just as bad as him. So I set him up to set him up. And that's what you guys can do each and every time. It's not hard, but you have to make it a lifestyle. Now, with that said, you can cue this last video, and I'm going to be out like a light.
People change when they hurt enough they have to, when they see enough they're inspired to, when they learn enough that they want to, and when they receive enough that they're able to. Those are the 4 times that people change.
Wow. With that said, guys, I've adopted a phrase that I'm going to let this stick in your mind for the remainder of this week. If you get nothing out of this call, understand this. If you use nothing but motivation for this call, it should be this. People don't change until the pain of remaining the same becomes too great. How big is your pain? Now, with the exercise in place, there's an old saying that rings true, guys. No pain, no gain. With that said, Mr. Thomas, this has been my time. And as always, I endorse this message. Thanks for letting me share.